Hi, welcome to Good Morning KU. I'm Johanna Hecht here with my right-hand man, Jack Graham.
Yes, and I am Jack Graham, and if you've never seen my lovely partner before on camera, that's probably because you haven't. She's been behind the scenes, working and making sure I look good on camera.
Yes. No, it's been a while since I've hosted, so excuse me if I'm a little rusty. But how are you today, Jack?
I'm doing great. I'd like to say my polo's clean. I laundered it yesterday, only for today's show. You look wonderful yourself.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We have some big issues to discuss today, namely the Baltimore riots.
Right, yeah, those started yesterday after the Freddie Gray funeral, which, you know, we all are pretty familiar with it, but if you're not, that was African American was supposedly or allegedly abused by a police officer and then did not survive the beatings, and I think you can assume the rest. So.
And then what was interesting is that the mayor called off the police, and after the funeral yesterday she said for the police to back off and to go easy today, so that would incite less violence if less police officers were standing out there, which makes a little bit of sense. However, it backfired, and a bunch of high school students kind of started the violence at a local mall in West Baltimore, started looting stores there, and they took the moment as an opportunity with no police officers to stop them from their actions.
Well, about over 200 people have been arrested. There have been over 144 vehicle fires. It's just kind of breaking loose over there in Baltimore right now, and hopefully things will start to slow down. I mean, Baltimore or Maryland itself is in a state of emergency, so that was due to the governor's call. And
the National Guard got called in yesterday, a curfew ending at 10 p.m. Nobody's allowed outside from 10 to 5 a.m. To stop all nighttime violence. It's really similar to Ferguson, but it's like it's different because it's a huge area of Baltimore. It's like a swaths of neighborhoods. Like Ferguson was just like a 2-block area.
Exactly, and you know there's issues going on all over the world. What's going on in Nepal after the earthquake? That's just tragic, with over 10,000 people now reported dead, and with over 8 million affected. It is definitely one of the major earthquakes that we have seen in a while.
Yeah, and we saw like very interesting burial functions in the Hindu form yesterday. Funeral pyres being lit on fire and then sent down the Ganges River. Interesting cultural effects there, which we got to see. Also, UNICEF reported over 1 million children needed help yesterday, which nobody likes to see.
Yeah. And closer to home, we are, if you saw the UDK today, you read that there were 4 fraternity members expelled from the fraternity itself of Zeta Beta Tau for anti-Muslim video that was released on the app Yeti. So that's pretty disheartening, especially coming from the Lawrence community.
Right. And ZBT is the traditionally Jewish fraternity, so to see something come out like that, wouldn't expect that from them.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot we probably don't know about the situation. A lot of rumors have been spread, obviously, but it's definitely been an interesting year at KU. The issue of cultural competence is something that KU needs education on, especially, and every campus most likely needs some sort of education to be more sensitive about cultures and you know, racism and gender and all the isms that there are.
Right.
So.
Yeah, definitely got to make sure you know what you're saying and who you're saying around, and you got to be careful and make sure you take into account everybody and where they all come from.
Exactly.
But on a lighter note, intramurals this week. Is it intramural championship this week?
Yes, for soccer, I believe.
Okay.
And basketball was last week with a few others. So if you want to go and check those out over at the rec center, I would definitely encourage it. See your friends, you know, participating in those intense sports.
Yeah, intramurals get pretty intense, not gonna lie. Competed in a few myself. Have you ever dabbled in the intramural game?
Not here at KU, no, I have not.
Okay. I could see you as just like sand volleyball, maybe badminton.
I did play volleyball in high school, so.
Table tennis?
No.
No? Okay.
Probably not.
Well, also in campus events, there's a barbecue tonight at 6 p.m. at the Corbin dorm. They have quite a bit of money to spend in that budget, so it should be pretty extravagant if you're feeling some barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, you live right there, Jack, so
I
do. Go over there, get a couple numbers.
I do. Hey, I'm not going to say anything. Well, we'll be right back with Nick interviewing Patrick from the Student Senate. Stay with us.
Welcome back into Good Morning KU. I'm here with Patrick Jacquinot, of the Outreach Director for the Student Senate. Jack, how are you today? Or Patrick, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good. So, as Outreach Director, what is your job? Obviously, outreach is important, but a lot of people don't know what that is.
Yeah, so for me, as Outreach Director of Student Senate, my primary focus is to just relay what's going on in the Senate chambers and in the Student Senate exec office, and just kind of relay that to the student body, let the student body know what we're doing for them, how we're working for them, and also open a line of communication between the student body and Student Senate so students feel comfortable coming to us with issues.
So how do you talk about what's going on in Senate? How do you get that out to the people?
So we do different things. One of the things I'm tasked with is creating relationships with different media outlets in the Lawrence community and on campus, the UDK, things like that. So working with them to kind of have that line of communication to get things that we're doing covered, things like that. I also manage our social media accounts. That's another big way that Student Senate gets out information is on social media. So yeah, just doing things like that, opening lines of communications. This semester we kind of had an outreach week where we kind of placed ourselves on campus to talk to different students. We also held an open forum this year to discuss different issues that were coming up in regards to racial issues on campus, and so that was really interesting, just different things like that.
So during a meeting, are you constantly on like Twitter or Facebook
yes, so
saying what's going on?
Yeah, I don't get much rest. Yeah, I'm tweeting, taking pictures, just kind of making sure if there are reporters there, making sure they get the stories they need, things like that.
So I heard that there's a transition going on in your office. Break that down for us. Explain how that's going to go.
Yeah, so elections closed the other week, and so now we're tasked with turning over. Our current executive staff were all creating binders, making lists, collecting files throughout the year, so we can turn that over to next year's executive staff, so they have kind of legs to stand on coming in and have more information about how they can better from what we did this year and things like that. So every person on the exec staff is coming up with a turnover binder. They're also just kind of taking notes. We all wrote end of the year reports, kind of highlighting what we did this year, things like that. But the biggest thing is on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, it's kind of a joint Senate. So the old exec staff, we will have our final meeting, and the new executive staff and student body president and vice president will take office tomorrow night. So that's really interesting. They will completely turn over, they'll take over their jobs, and I'll be out of a job.
So what should KU students look forward to in this new transition?
So I think this year, a lot of things popped up this year, and things happened, and we kind of had to cover that. And so I think we can pass on a lot of knowledge to next year's executive staff, and I think they have a great opportunity to really reach out to students, talk to students, and make sure that voices are heard on our campus. And I think there are a lot of opportunities in really connecting students in it with the student body that I look forward to happening next year.
And how would you do that?
So if I were continuing on as outreach director, which I'm not, but I think that it's really important to place ourselves on campus more, to really take ourselves out of the Student Senate chambers and out of the Student Senate office, place ourselves on campus and really have open discussion with students. I think that's super critical, and that's something that I'll be talking a lot with whoever takes my job next year. We actually condensed my job and the Student Senate Executive Secretary's job into one position for next year, and so Student Senate will have a communications director for the first time. And so that's going to be really interesting to combine those two positions. And I think we also created an outreach board that will be comprised of student senators. So I think next year you can look forward to a lot more outreach on the part of student senators.
Patrick, thank you for the insight. It's
No
important
problem.
that going into this new transition, our student senate improves.
Yeah.
When we come back, we will have the news.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. I'm Garrett Maltby, and this is your Tuesday Good Morning KU News Update. Riots and looting continued in Baltimore for the second straight day today. 15 Baltimore police officers were injured early this morning from thrown bottles, rocks, and bricks. The fire department extinguished blazes while cinder blocks were being thrown at them. Businesses, homes, and cars were left damaged or destroyed by looting or arson. Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake established a 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew in efforts to stop the rioters. After the worst earthquake Nepal has seen in 80 years, the official death toll has now surpassed more than 4,000. Kathmandu's airport had so much traffic by air and passenger planes that incoming flights sat on the runway for hours. According to the New York Times, some of the worst hit villages remain inaccessible to even the country's armed forces. The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments today in a case that will give gays and lesbians a constitutional right to marry. The USA Today reports that this involves 6 separate cases from 4 states, including Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Trending is the hashtag #InTheirWords, where you can see how the Supreme Court decision will impact those lives. Governor Sam Bramback is pushing through a $450,000 first-of-its-kind anti-abortion law. According to the Kansas City Star, the governor announced that he would sign 4 reenactments of this bill banning a common second trimester procedure. Abortion providers are considering lawsuits. In entertainment news, fans of Dancing with the Stars were shocked when 14-year-old Willow Shields was sent home. The Hunger Games actress had been faring consistently well in the show, so her dismissal was a big surprise. A double elimination is expected next week. And after a quick break, Dallas will be here with sports.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
And I'm Boston with sports. The KU baseball team went 2-1 this weekend against West Virginia. The only loss occurred this Sunday when the team lost 5-4, dropping their overall record to 19-25 with a 6-9 conference record. Jayhawks' next game is tomorrow against Arkansas Pine Bluff at Hoagland Ballpark. First pitch is at 6 p.m. The women's softball team lost 2 in a row to Oklahoma this weekend. Women sit at 35-10 on the season, with some of those losses being in conference. Their next game is Friday against Baylor. In the NBA, the Warriors, Wizards, Cavs are the first 3 teams to advance in the playoffs, sweeping the Pelicans, Raptors, and the Celtics. It has been reported that Cavaliers' own Kevin Love is going to miss the Eastern Conference semifinals due to a shoulder injury. Cavaliers will take on the winner between the Bulls and the Bucks, which is entering Game 6 on Thursday. Warriors will face either the Blazers or the Grizzlies, and the Wizards will take on the 8-seeded Nets tomorrow. Kansas City Royals defeated the Cleveland Indians 6-2 yesterday as they put up 13 hits in the game, while the Indians gathered only 4. Detroit still leads the Royals for the top spot in the AL Central by a half a game. Sitting at third are the Chicago White Sox, while Cleveland Indians sit at last. The NHL first-round series are coming to an end. Winners in the first round were the Wild, Blackhawks, the Ducks, the Flames, the Canadiens, the Rangers, and the Capitals. Greatest upset, though, was that the number 4-seeded Minnesota Wild took out the St. Louis Blues in 6 games. Minnesota will take on the Blackhawks in the second round. In addition, the first series to go 7 games this season is the Red Wings versus the Lightning. Final game is going to be played tomorrow at Tampa Bay. Now finally, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather will be entering the ring on Saturday at MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. Pacquiao, who's from the Philippines, has a record of 57-5 with 2 draws, while Mayweather is undefeated with a 47-0 record. That is it for sports, and after the break, Mimi will be here with the weather.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Good morning, KU. I'm Mimi Mashash here with your weather forecast. We have Jack Graham outside with a live look. Jack, where are you?
You know, Mimi, I'm out here in the beautiful Marvin Grove in the middle of campus. It's so gorgeous out here right now. The grass is lush and green. Perfect Frisbee playing conditions. It's looking great.
Yeah, chilly at all, or you feel totally comfortable out there?
No, totally comfortable. I could be out here just sun tanning, but I don't do that. I don't tan very well.
That's amazing. Lucky for us, those temperatures are here to stay throughout the rest of the week. Let's take a look at our almanac for right now. Unfortunately, we're not going to be breaking any records today, but we are going to be above average, and those average temperatures are going to stay high throughout the rest of this week. Let's take a look and focus on today. 11 a.m., we got 60 degrees, and going into the rest of the day, those temperatures are going to steadily rise, and we're going to have a high of 71 degrees, which is going to be really nice. Taking a look again, like I said, today's weather is going to be very similar to tomorrow's and Thursday's weather. So if we take a look at our week forecast, we see again, today we're looking at high 72, 73, those temperatures staying roughly the same. And then Friday, Saturday, clouds are going to roll in a little bit. We're looking at a 20 and 30% chance of rain throughout the weekend. It's still pretty early to tell, so those percentages could change. So hopefully they do, and we end up having a really nice weekend. Let's throw it back to Jack. How are you looking forward to those nice temperatures throughout the rest of this week?
Looking forward to it, Mimi. I've got plans to go skeet shooting on Saturday, and hopefully the 82-degree weather holds up, because that should be phenomenal. But I don't want to get sunburned. I'm running really low on sunscreen right now at home, and it's only 30 SPF. That's not enough to cover me. So.
Definitely got to stay covered. What's it called? Are you looking? What are your plans this weekend to enjoy that weather?
Yeah, just the skeet shooting on Saturday, but otherwise going to try and stay out of the sun. But that's it for today's Good Morning KU edition, everybody. Thanks for stopping in and stopping by. We have our 250th edition on Thursday. If you want to stop in, we'll have some special festivities for that. But for our entire crew on Tuesday, I'm Jack Graham. Have a great day. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.